Hi, thank you so much for joining me for day 6 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, round 13. And today's sketch, which I'll pop in the top left-hand corner there, is from the fabulous Sochi Yvette Martinez. And I love this sketch. It's great for using up your scraps, and I wanted to go with the monochromatic theme. I own Hey Little Magpie, the online scrapbooking store in the UK, and we run a monthly challenge in our Facebook group, which is Hey Little Magpie Chat and Inspiration. So if you're not a member, do request to join. It's full of inspiration, and like I say, there's a monthly challenge each month, and it was my turn to set the challenge this month, so I went with a monochromatic theme, and the video for that layout that I created is on the Hey Little Magpie YouTube channel. And I used greens. So I just pulled out loads of scraps from my papers box, which is where I break everything down when I've finished with a collection, and just pop them in that box to use another time. And that's what all this is. So because they were at the top of the box, it was very easy to go again with a more or less a monochromatic theme. So I'm just creating all those stripes that Sochi has on her sketch there, and I'm going with 3 photos in the middle rather than 2. These are very old photos. They're from back in February 2010, Valentine's Day, which is also my nephew's birthday. So we were over as a family in North Wales, which is where my sister lived at the time, and we were visiting, and she always puts on a fabulous spread. We had canapes, that some of these photos are of the canapes, the kids drinking their little fruit shoot bottles, and we were on the champagne for Valentine's Day, so it was very nice. So just stacking up those strips that I've created, and then I can carry on with the rest of the layout once those are done. And it does take me a little time to sort out exactly what I'm doing. I wanted to get the strips right. I haven't got a lot of real estate there because the photos take up a lot of space. These were all 4x6 photos that I've trimmed down. I printed them from my PC, so they actually print about 3.5 by 5.5. I don't know why, but that's just whether it's because it was the old style camera that I'd used before I took photos on my phone, really. I don't know. I don't know. So just carrying on cutting bits out. That piece that I just trimmed there is from 49 Market Spectrum Sherbet. The green stripe and that floral piece I think is an old Amy Tangerine paper. Like I say, there are so many different bits and pieces here. Some deep dive stash. This is from Boho Baby, I know that. And there are some bits there from Pink Fresh Studio, Simply the Best. So I'm more or less happy with how I've positioned everything. So I'm actually going to go around each piece and with my fingernails, because they're very small pieces, just rough up the edges and then stick them down on the layout. I won't make you watch all of that, but that's what I'm going to do, and they will be stuck back as they're shown now. So here I am just putting the last little piece on there. And now I'm going to come in with some washi. I'd also pulled out some of my green washi tapes, and I really love using these on these small strip areas because they're semi-transparent and they just create a different texture, and they really do look wonderful. So I pulled out this black one, a thin one, black one with white stars. That green chevron I think is a very old Bella Boulevard one. This star one might be in my mind's eye, I forget now. But they're just out of my stash, and it's great to get some used. So just continuing around the page, I think I added that chevron one in all 4 spaces, and then the black and white star in the top and bottom areas. Still just adding that last piece there now. And then I just wanted to add another little piece at that bottom. I felt like everything was slightly lopsided, and I found this tag which had the fish. I think it was the fishtail banner. I think it's from Pink Fresh, Simply the Best, and I think it was one of the tag cut aparts on the 6x8 paper pad. So I've just added that at the bottom, and I haven't finished yet with the bottom. You can see in that pot in the top left hand side of the desk that I've pulled out some green bits and pieces from my ephemera box. It's much the same as my paper box. Anything that's left over from collections that I've broken down, I just throw into a little plastic box like the one I've got my foam pads in. And I just sifted through that and pulled out anything that was green. So you can see there's a grandfather clock there. That was I forget now. It's spoiled. So just lots of different bits and pieces. Rosie's Studio, that's right. So just adding the 25mm foam pads to these photos just to make them stand proud on the layout. And then I saw this navy blue piece that says family time, and I thought that would work nicely because there's plenty of blue in the photos. George, my nephew, got a Playmobil police station set for his birthday, which is the bottom photo, and he's in his Iggle Piggle suit, which was another birthday present. So there's plenty of blue there. Now this piece that I'm gluing down now is a sofa, because we were all sitting on the sofa enjoying the canapes and things, and that's also from Rosie's Studio, I remember that. This little piece that I'm fiddling about with now says Weekend Fun, and that was from Pink Fresh Studio. So like I say, everything from lots of different places, and it's just fun to get all the old bits and pieces used up, really, isn't it? And not focusing on a collection, just focusing on the colour palette that you've got in your photos. So just adding the journaling now, and I've just written, celebrating George's 4th birthday in North Wales, always champagne on hand as he is a Valentine baby. So that sticker sheet that I just pulled from there is Vicky Boutin's Sweet Rush. And I just saw this green piece that said, oh boy, and it's in navy blue, so I thought that would be nice. And now going through the Spectrum Sherbet rub-ons, and I'm just going to add a tiny piece to the 4 clusters that I've got going around the edge. So here's the first one there. And then I'll add another one, a similar size on each piece, and then along the bottom I add a bigger piece that goes underneath that sofa. So while I'm going around cutting those and rubbing those on, please do check the description box down below. I'll add Sochi's details, she's a wonderful scrapbooker, and also the playlist to everybody else who's joining in on this fabulous hop. I wanted to say thank you for Christie as well for organising this, because there's so much work that goes into a hop like this, and I really do appreciate it. It's so different from Scraptember, which I did last month, where you have the prompts. Having these sketches is it really gets your mind thinking and working out how you can make them work for you. You don't necessarily have to follow the sketch exactly as it is. You might just take a small element from it, or you might really roll with it and go exactly as it is. Like this one, for example, I didn't want to do the photos in a diamond. It just wasn't working for me, and I had 3 photos, so I've just made it work. And when you see the finished layout, I was really, really happy with how it went, and it's certainly not something that I would have done without the sketch, so I do appreciate it. So this sticker that I'm adding down now says good stuff. Again, that's from Sweet Rush. And then that little sticker that says today. I'm just pulling out anything that I think might work. This one says being awesome, again from Sweet Rush, and just chilling. And those colours work beautifully. Now this stamp is from Ellie's Studio. It's one that I use an awful lot. It's the Thankful stamp set. I don't think it's available anymore, but I just love these pluses. But there was one on one of the Simple Stories stamp sets recently, the Valentine's one I think that they had out this year. So these pluses are always coming up, or you could just hand doodle them if you didn't have a stamp set and wanted a similar look on a page. So just going around the edges, adding them more or less where Sochi had them on her layout. Mine's slightly different. I've got the journaling on the right hand side of the photos rather than the left bottom, but not too dissimilar. So now coming in with my Nouveau crystal drops, I've got apple green, and then I come in with olive green, and then I think I'm done, but then decide to come in with some more bits. You'll see. So here's the olive green, and I love this. It's slightly transparent, it's translucent, and it's really, really gorgeous. It's beautiful green. So just dotting that all the way around the edges, trying to keep those edge pieces so that they are separate from the main photo cluster. They have been joined a little bit, but I want to add some gold splatters, so I'm just covering up my photos carefully, because obviously I've put those Nouveau drops down, so I don't want to smear them. And you can see I'm just keeping to the triangle sort of shapes that I've got in each of those clusters. So just dotting the gold splatters more or less around the edges of each of those. So just pulling the papers off, and I still feel like there's something missing. I don't feel like I've got enough black on the page, so I come in with my trusty hole reinforcer punch, and I'm just adding 3 of those just to create that lovely visual triangle. and it really brings that black around the page for me. And then I realised that I haven't added the date either, so I'll just get those whole reinforcers stuck down, just fiddling about trying to get the positioning right because I want to keep the balance on the page. And I felt like that one at the top definitely needed to be on the left hand side to balance it out that little bit more. So this sticker is from, the round sticker is from Pink Fresh Studio, and then that bulldog clip is from Sweet Rush from Vicky Bootin. And I'm going to write my date on that label, and then you'll see in the final shots at the end that I do add some wax twine through that bulldog clip as well, and just trail that off to the left. I just glue it down with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because it dries clear so you can't see, just in a couple of dots. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I shall see you tomorrow for day 7. Thanks again. Bye.